good afternoon, everyone. Respected educators, international. Thank you, Dr. Irfan, for inviting me for this great event. I would like to extend my gratitude and, of course, proud of inviting the officers of the Association of Professional Teachers and Researchers International, officers like Miss Ba, my good sister, my friend, yeah, and also some of the former officers of the organization, Dr. Rina Palmiano, Professor Imam Garcia, and other officers and then members. Okay, actually, my presentation is a basic information about writing paper, uh, plus the role of AI in academic writing. Okay, to start with, yeah, okay. So, so, uh, my presentation is about, is I am audible, yeah, okay, yeah. So, my presentation is about the Mm, exploring the role of AI in academic writing through a pedagogical lens. Dr. Pila. Yeah, actually, this is only a basic information about writing and also the role of AI in academic writing. Okay, so to start with, so my presentation outline are the following: purpose of writing a research article, characteristics of a good manuscript, general structure and the process of writing a research article. The role of AI in academic writing is Scopus publication. Yeah, so uh, actually the development of the research paper was started during the 17th century with journals like Journal des Savants and Philosophical Transaction. So it was started also, it was continued and started during the 4.0 society, wherein it shaped the industry because of the 4.0 technologies like the automation, artificial intelligence, big data, and the Internet of Things, wherein research papers play a crucial role. So until now, this is one of the practices, not only locally but also globally, for the academic institutions, which prioritize based on the focus on the 4.0 topics until now, 5.0 society, which is about smart manufacturing, sustainable innovation, digital health, smart cities, human-machine interaction. So in other words, research paper is very important in terms of the innovation for the development of the global economy. Okay, so so these are the basic essential part of the research article: the title, the author, the abstract, introduction, the method, discussion and conclusion, acknowledgement, references, and supplementary materials. And then publication ethics is essential, for the confidentiality of the document, specifically during the interviews and then presentation of data, and then the methods and then output. So in the importance of research, you have to practice what you are this is only a theory, but you have to practice the recommendations for the welfare and also for the society, for the global society. So what are the purpose, no? Actually, this is only a basic information since our participant is ongoing taking up the refresher course in research. So the purpose of writing a research article for professional skills and experiences, course for those who are taking up masteral or PhD degree, contribution in the community, for the funds or incentive, and then for the promotion. Yeah. And then, so when you say academic writing, actually, this is one of the practices, not only the professionals, but also the students, no? since research is required for all for the academician and also for the education sector. So this is involved structured method of expressing ideas commonly for the research and educators, no, in scholarly works, no. So the authors allow deeply understand, analyze concept leading to a well-explained theory or conclusions. Yeah. So yeah, so when you say research article, these are already published. No papers, this is majority of when you say research paper written by students do not undergo to a journal, or this is classified as unpublished thesis in the Philippines, no? Yeah. So the role of AI in academic research paper. So because of the 5.0 society, so it undergo, no, majority of us, no, let's face the reality, we are using AI. So there is a big impact, or rather an advantages of using AI. No, it is not actually negatively but also positively, since we are in the global period. No, the important of this is the person or a man should know how to control, no, using the AI. Remember, we are human. We have the difference from the computer or computer, wherein we have the heart and then we have the mind, wherein we can control everything. Unlike the AI, it is only a machine. But we have to know our limitations. That is important of AI. We have to know the limitation of using AI. No? Okay, in not only in the academic writing, but also everywhere. No? Okay. So when you say the role of AI, it is commonly used by researchers and educators in scholarly works to present data, driven arguments, and logical reasoning. So this form of writing helps readers to understand a topic thoroughly. It allows authors to deeply analyze concept, leading to a well-explained theory or conclusion. Different fields use academic writing for various purposes. Yeah, actually, it's a good one to use AI, but you know how to limit yourself, and also um with honesty and integrity, of course, confidentiality, you have to recognize your sources. That is the importance of using AI. Recognition of the authors, no? Okay. And then at the same time, as I discussed it before, this is essential in the economy. Everything become faster, no? Everything become faster. Our mind, the use of AI is 10 times in the using our mind, no? Like for example, in the academe, in health, no? Solutions in cancers, everything. This is very important. Okay, plus a part of actually it is not expensive. It's a cheaper one using AI because it lessen human skill, no? In the Philippines, I'm talking to the Philippines. So it is essential, specifically in the hospital, in writing paper, yeah, everything. But as I discussed it, you have to know your limitations. Whether we like it or not, we forward to technology, advancement of technology. But if we could not use the AI, or rather machines or an internet, no, we could not do something which is faster, no, to the economy. So we have to be we have to be flexible, no. We have to be flexible in everything because we are in the global period. This is the impact of globalization. Okay. So these are the 6 domains where AI can improve academic functions, like the idea development and research design, no? So what are the functions regarding brainstorming, literature gap identification, hypothesis generation, research planning, yeah? And then content development and structuring. Yeah. So everything, structuring of writing assistance, visual and multimedia integration. No, this is essential for the improvement of academic functions using AI, literature review and synthesis, that's true. No, extracting and analyzing information. Remember, the people or the human has a limitations, but we are with the use of AI or a machine or an internet, we can do everything. No? Okay. Data management and analysis, data interpretation, yeah. Okay, data interpretation, data analysis, description, data visualization, data set management, no? Editing, review, and publishing support, writing refinement, proofreading, everything, communication, outreach, and ethical compliance, dissemination and outreach. Yeah, so through the use of the Google form, everything, no? Accessibility to the computers, we can do everything in terms of the communication and ethical compliance. Okay, so yeah, so these are the 6 domains where AI can improve academic function. 23% content and development and structuring, 28% communication, outreach, and ethical compliance, 26% editing, review, and publishing support, data management and analysis is 12%. Literature review and synthesis is 9%. This is how the AI contribution to academic domain or academic functions. Okay, so what are the comparison of AI tools for academic writing? So what are the features or the tool of AI like Zotero or Mendeley? Yes, they have the literature management, no writing assistance, no plagiarism, no data analysis, specialization, but this is only focusing on literature management. And note, yeah, literature management, Grammarly. So with Grammarly, they have the writing assistance and also plagiarism detection, yeah. And then ChatGPT. Okay, so this is only for writing assistance and specialized AI features. Turnitin for detection of plagiarism. Copyscape, this is only for plagiarism detection. Yeah, but no literature management, no writing assistance, no data analysis, no specialized AI features. So in other words, these are the tools, no, which were in the AI have their specialization. In other words, Tableaus. So this is only for data analysis. You can check via Google. RBIB Semantic Scholar for specialized AI features. NVivo, I'm using NVivo. This is for specialized AI features. I'm also using ChatGPT. Like for example, if I'm tired, no? If I'm tired writing an article or a book, I'll check the ChatGPT, and I'm also using the NVivo for research. Turnitin also, we have the Turnitin and RTU. Yeah. So MaxQDA, we have specialized AI features. Leximancer, specialized AI features. Kirkos, yes, specialized AI features. Atlas for specialized AI features. Those, yes. Provalis Research for data analysis and specialized AI features. RapidMiner for data analysis and then AI features. So you can check it through via Google. So yeah, so in other words, in my perspective, we know how to we know how to use properly the AI tools. This is not for yourself, but for the welfare of the global society. So as an individual, we have to make a contribution in the academe as an educator to serve as our legacy, no? Yeah. So research is very essential right now since we are in the 5.0 society. Innovation, yeah. Innovation for the global economy. And then, so how do we use, since we know how to, since we have a different types or tools of AI, we know how to write a paper. Since We are the only one who can make our own uh, research paper. So there should be specialization, or rather a knowledge in writing paper, aside from the use of AI tools. So in choosing a topic, so you have to know your line of interest. Like for example, in my case, I'm a graduate of political science or public administration. So my paper is about the social sciences. And then you have to review also the trends of your discipline. Like, for example, we have the Science Direct or Elsevier. In the Philippines, we have the CHED recognized journal. And then at the same time, I will show to you the some publication of the Scopus.com. So this is essential for everyone. Yeah, and then for personal or professional experience, remember the best experience is the best teacher. We have to learn through our experiences so we can share it by learning our reader. The important is the reader, actually. We have to share what we have. This is the impact of globalization. It become a classless society. Everything become transparent. So we have the no cultural diversity. Unification, global unification. So whatever you experience is also the same from other country. Like for example, the climate change, the war, no, natural disaster. This is the same because of the climate change. Yeah, and also some problem in the academe, no, that is the same. So through writing a research paper, we can learn something from everyone, no. It remove cultural diversity. No, another one, your paper should be researchable. Yeah, of course. In order to provide a vast knowledge, no, and then to come up with your new paper one or a novelty one. And then originality, yeah, originality is essential in choosing your topic. Okay, and then we have what are the characteristics of a good manuscript? So this is the actually the basic, yeah. I will teach you later on regarding the scopus, yeah. So Scopus publication. So, what are the purpose, or rather the characteristics of a good manuscript? Describe your clear purpose for the study. See to each, your paper should be for everyone, for beneficial specifically from the community, global society. Not since we are in the global period, we have to reach our aims, no? Wherein the purpose of your paper is globally, not locally, in order to relate individual from your paper, to learn something from your paper. No, that is essential. We are not focusing locally, no, the problem for in the Philippines, but globally. No, this is the impact of globalization. Establish why the general area of study is important, and how this and then how this study can contribute. Yeah, so contribution is essential. That is the impact of writing a research paper. No, and then at the same time, citation, yeah. In other words, when your paper is cited, in other words, this is essential, and then there's a contribution to to the global community. And then another one is the originality. One should not conduct a study simply because no such study has ever been done. So like originality comes out when there is a gap from other paper, no? Like for example, once when I'm writing my dissertation, so my professor in PUP told me, check the library, and then if there is any gap from the following paper or a dissertation. And that is how I learned to write a research paper. I apply what I have learned after my doctorate degree, no? Plus, being observant from your environment is essential, no? Okay, so in writing a research paper. Yeah. So at the same time, from the research question, yeah, it should be, you have to start from the specific to general. No, like for example, what, where, why, how. So for those a beginner, no, since this is for the since this is a refresher course for everyone. Yeah, so from the specific to general to understand by the reader, how do you come up with your paper? Okay, so because we have a different level of understanding, we have a different level of understanding and then comprehension. So in writing a research question, it should be from specific to general. Okay, yeah. And then for the literature review should be incredible sources, no? Like you have to check the accredited journals, no? In check in reading a literature review. So and then another important is you have to cite the source or the author. So this is essential for integrity and then courtesy from the sources. Okay, include pertinent international research. Yeah, this is essential. Yeah, okay. Cite a variety of pertinent studies. So, based on my understanding, the standard for literature review is, standard is 50 references. You have to read at least 50 references for this. Okay, to become credible. Okay. And then, yeah. So, minimum maximum for the words for an international paper, at least 3,000 words. 3,000 or 14 pages is enough. Yeah. Completed research paper, at least the abstract is 250 or 300, 8 to 10 or 14 pages. Yeah. Maximum is 5 figures, 5 keywords, 25 or 50 references. Okay. Yeah, the title should be short, simple words, make it catchy. Yeah. So it should be catchy. It should be uh precise but full of ideas in writing a paper, no? Like for example, actually this is my old article. Yeah, actually, strategies of one of my research article, is strategies of the implemented anti-motorcycle riding in tandem ordinance of one city in the Philippines. Yeah, it is because I'm writing about motorcycle riding in tandem because I am one of the victim of motorcycle riding in tandem. They get my bug. Yeah, they get my bug, my two bugs. Yeah, I have no choice but give them, no, unless they killed me. No. Yeah, being a single, sometimes it is hard to become a single because, yeah, so because I'm encountering bad guys, no, by getting my bag, my personal belongings. Yeah. And that is the reason why I encourage to write about anti-motorcycle riding in the Philippines. This is the same in Venezuela or other countries who are also encountering motorcycle riding in tandem. We have the same scenario. I check first what I check first about countries which is also having or implementing motorcycle and riding in tandem. So I found that there is from Venezuela or other South America. Yeah, about this. This is also the same in the Philippines. And then writing an abstract, yeah. So these are the following abstract. Of course, there's cover, background, aims, approach, result, and then conclusion. And then the keywords, at least 5 words. Yeah. So my keywords is anti-motorcycle riding in tandem, effectiveness, yeah, ordinance, Philippine National Police, strategies. And then introduction, of course, at least 2 to 3 pages. So this is an standard, yeah. You have to provide and the content, the context, and background. So in the introduction, the researcher should already defend her proposed title. So you have to write about motorcycle riding in tandem and then related literature review. Okay, and then why do you come up with this study? At least this is about 2 to 3 pages. Okay, and then tips in writing introduction. The important criteria in the introduction is scope, novelty, significance. Relate to current knowledge, bring to up what's been done and what's need to be done. Introduce your work, give the purpose and main objective. There are research articles wherein the main objective is separate in the introduction. The basic flow of the introduction is start with the specific or general and then move to specific. So uh, from specific to general or vice versa, general to specific. No? Okay. So objective of this study, define the focus of your study, clearly identify variable to be measured, indicate the various step to be involved, establish the limit of the study, avoid collection of any data that is not strictly necessary. So this is how I write my objective of this study. So yeah, from 2020, the aim of this study is to examine the implemented anti-motorcycle riding in tandem in the Philippines for the year 2017 to 2020. So it also discussed the constraint faced by the Mandaluyong police officers in the implemented ordinance. Like for example, you have to check or you have to you have to check the profile of the respondents in terms of the age, gender, civil status, and then education attainment. What is the prevalent crime incidents encountered prior to the implemented ordinance for the year 2017? Sorry, apology. 2020 to 2017. Okay. Yeah, so how effective the implemented motorcycle riding in tandem for the years 2017? What are the problems encountered in the implementation of the ordinance in Mandaluyong City? What are the strategies for the implementation of the ordinance to restore peace and order in Mandaluyong City? The methods, at least, yeah, describe the experimental setup, explain how the data collected, explain the use of techniques, avoid adding comments or discussion, and then consider use of supplementary materials, spreadsheet, audio, video, or photo, video. No. Okay. And then these are an example of methodology, the instrument, the respondents, and the limitation of the study. So you have to check no, the procedure for the delimitation of the study. No, this study utilized the descriptive method of research because it described the current conditions, practices, and the implemented strategies of the anti-motorcycle riding in tandem ordinance in Mandaluyong City for the years 2017 to 2020. The approaches include qualitative analysis of data generated from documents and accomplishment reports in the Philippine National Police of Mandaluyong City. The quantitative approach is likewise used since the respondents were asked to assess the extent of effectiveness of the strategies of the implemented anti-motorcycle riding in tandem ordinance in Mandaluyong City. So the instrument, the study used in this study was the researcher-made questionnaire. The researcher made use of content validation, which was answered by 3 police superintendents and 2 barangay chairmen. The questionnaire was administered to 25 police in Mandaluyong City. After the questionnaire items were analyzed, Cronbach alpha was computed and yielded 0.87. So the respondents, there were 536 respondents that assessed the extent of effectiveness of the strategies implemented in the anti-motorcycle riding in tandem ordinance in Mandaluyong City. The researcher explained among the respondents the purpose of the study and the confidentiality of the responses. The researcher stratified the respondents into 4 groups, namely commuters, student business sector, and driver. Yeah, the letter was addressed to the local officials for their approval and explained the purpose of the study with regards to the distribution of survey questionnaire. It was facilitated with the help of the kagawad and barangay captains from the chosen barangays. And then we have the procedure. So I use stratified random and sampling for 27 barangays. No? Okay, in Mandaluyong City. Okay. 536 total respondents distributed among 27 barangays in Mandaluyong City assisted by the barangay officials. Okay, discussion. So in writing the discussion, Okay? These are the opportunity to show the paper's importance, interpret the results, and relate it to the hypothesis you set out to test. It is important that you link each paragraph to your results, how it relates to the current literature, its physiological meaning, and its transition to the next finding in your paper. So we have to avoid excessive presentation of data results without any discussion, citing every argument with a published work. So in other words, it should be precise, but you have to cite the argument and then relate to the current literature. Results, no? The result is where the paper comes alive. You should decide as to which data are the most important and present data in a hierarchical manner with the most important data in figure form. The next important data sets in table form and at least important data in paragraph form. This will allow the reader to see the major findings of your paper in a clear manner. So conclusion. The conclusion section provides a brief summary of the results and discussion, but it should be more than a summary. The conclusion should concisely provide the key messages the author wishes to convey, and the implications of the finding should be emphasized, explaining how the work is significant. And then we have the acknowledgement, yeah? So we have to acknowledge the people who support us, or the educators support us, like for example, the funding agency, our colleagues, and then the sources of our paper, the source of our paper. Yeah. Yeah, these are the follow. Yeah, references. They style vary for different journals. So just you have to check the procedure or the standard from different journal that you wanted to submit your paper. No, you have to cite the complete titles of the cited references. So this is the summary. Yeah. Okay. And then the other one. Okay, so yeah, so these are the procedure in other words, these are the standard procedure in writing a paper. So in my case, once I actually submitted my paper in this Scopus, this is a hard one for me, no? So what will I do in presenting a paper? I I follow the standard format: introduction, in writing a paper, introduction, and then statement of the problem, discussion and conclusion, and so on and so forth. So what will I do in publishing my paper? I reverse the content, the context, or the procedure in order to be suitable or fit from the Scopus journal. So what will I do? I write first the title, no? I check first that okay, I'm thinking about the title, and then from the title, the question, the research question, then the research question, methodology, and then discussion and results, and then conclusion and recommendation. And the last one is the introduction. Because we have no idea, actually, why is it I reverse the procedure in writing the Scopus? Because we have no idea what will be the outcome of our paper. Like, for example, the anti-riding tandem in Mandaluyong City, the effectiveness of the ride and the anti-riding tandem strategies in Mandaluyong City. So I have no idea if this is effective or not. No? So what will I do? Once I submitted my paper to the Scopus, I write that the introduction will be the last. No, the introduction will be the last, no, priority, because I have no idea about what will be the outcome, no, what will be the outcome or the result of my paper. So in order to be objective, concise, and then jive from the result of my paper, I write it on the last part, the introduction. And then that is how the Scopus can be accepted your paper. Because everything is concise, everything is objective. Unlike unlike in submitting your paper, in the Scopus, in the Scopus by presentation, and then eventually submit to the Scopus. In writing the introduction, it is not actually uh, precise, or rather incomplete, no, because you have no idea what will be comes next, no, what will be the outcome or the result of your paper. Like, for example, the recommendations, the conclusions, no. So in order to become objective, I reverse my paper to be accepted, because Scopus is very essential in the Philippines, yeah, actually. So I presented to you uh the website of the Scopus. Yeah, so this one. Okay. So we have the subject area, and then you have to check, you have to jot down your subject area, and then it will also include here. Yeah, what do you want? Is the first quartile, second quartile, third quartile, or fourth quartile, or what do you want? The source type, is it a journal, a book series, conference, or trade publication? So in other words, so using this, it will be come out. No, it will appear different source, different journals, no, the journals in submitting your paper. Okay, and then like this one. Okay, so it will appear, or it will come out, all the papers. So this is for the people, for the educators, or rather from the students who are the beginners, no, who are the beginners in for the research. Okay. And then, of course, aside from that, uh, so this is actually the objective type, objective one. This is how I submitted my paper. I'll check first the website, and then this one, subject area again, subject area, and then afterwards, what I prepare. Is it first quarter, second quarter? So we have to be in submitting to Scopus, you have to be patient, because it takes a lot of time. It takes a year, no, in for revising your paper. Yeah, but is a sort of satisfaction, fulfillment, once it was already published, because you have the legacy in the global academy. Uh, this will serve as a teacher. This is part of my fulfillment, legacy. No? Remember, we are not only living materially, but also spiritually, by sharing our expertise, our knowledge, no? By writing paper or a book. Okay? Yeah. So citation, yeah, this is important, because to be credit the author, no? And then, yeah, of course, the 5 goals of citations. Yeah, give the reader sources of background and related material, so that the current work can be understood by the great audience, establish credibility with the reader, and inform the reader that the paper belongs within the specific school of thought, provide examples of alternate ideas, data, or conclusions to compare and contrast with this work, acknowledge and give credit to sources relied upon this work. So this is very to uphold intellectual honesty and integrity. That's all. I hope you have learned something in my presentation.